How to get more clients for your software development company or an agency. Guys, I have an amazing news. I have a client right now that is a software development company that reached out to me, and we're working on creating this funnel using LinkedIn outbound and content inbound to basically attract new clients for his company. In this video, I'm going to share all the steps that we are going with him right now. Before we go any further, I invite you to like and subscribe to this video if you find it useful. Before you start getting clients for your software development company, you need to be aware of how the market works, how B2B sales work, and how human psychology operates. I'm going to share something very, very interesting with you here before going into the actual process behind getting clients. Here are some industry benchmarks from Implicit, a data intelligence firm owned by Salesforce. And basically, they're saying that the average lead to close length is 102 days. So in essence, it's 3 months. So that's how long it takes these days to close a lead. Next bit of information is called the buyer's pyramid. So the buyer's pyramid was put together by a famous American author and sales coach called Chad Holmes, which basically was going around through the country, and he was giving talks. And every time he had this audience, he would basically ask people if they were in the market for buying whatever they're looking for. So maybe he'd ask, oh, anybody looking to buy tires right now? Or anybody looking for the dentist right now? He'd ask all these questions, and he'd find that approximately 3% of the audience were actually in the buying mode for any given question that he was asking his audience. They were aware of the problem and they were looking for a solution. The other 7% were open to buying, so they knew they had a problem, but they just weren't actively looking for a solution for whatever reason. Then the 30% were not really thinking about it. The other 30% didn't think that they were interested, and the other 30% knew that they're not interested at all. So with this information, once we start building up your sales acquisition channel, you will understand just how frequently you have to be pretty much pestering your potential clients. And you understand that it's only 3% of the market that are actually looking for a solution to buy. And it doesn't necessarily means that it's your solution. Next bit comes from Forrester B2B Buying Survey. And they're basically saying that B2B buyers engage in an average of 27 interactions over the course of a buying journey. And this number is up by 93% since 2015. So back in 2015, it was 14, 13 interactions, and now it's 27. So again, it gives you an idea of how frequently and how much you have to be engaging with your potential clients in order to actually close them going forward. What's more interesting is that 60% of B2B purchases now involve groups of 4 or more people. So it's not just about one decision maker. So if you're looking to acquire clients, if you're looking to sign up one, say, company, you have to be reaching out to as many decision makers as possible. So you create this sort of presence in their mind. Now that we got this stuff covered, let's look at the actual process behind creating this sales funnel using LinkedIn outbound and inbound methods. So now let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn profile optimization, because this is a really, really important step. Before you can start reaching out to your potential clients, you really need to spend some time thinking how you're going to turn your LinkedIn page, the LinkedIn profile, into a client acquiring machine, something that your ideal potential clients will check it out and like, this is exactly the type of the service that I need. So let's go over it step by step. So here I have my LinkedIn profile page. And the first thing you look at every time you open the profile page is somebody's profile image. You cannot make the first impression twice. So you really want to check out and make an effort when you are putting together a profile image. What I mean by that? Well, a huge chunk of purchasing, buying a service, is actually subconscious. Yes. So we're naturally more attracted to people that we like. That's pretty basic. Certain features that we like in people are fairly obvious. So for example, an open smile. So what I'm doing right now, this type of smile is called Duchenne smile. You can Google it and work on it a little bit. So to reproduce it once you're taking the photo, because this is right away, people check out my profile and it's like, oh, this seems like a really nice guy. You know, he's smiling, he's open, seems like a trustworthy person right away. I can't overestimate just how important the step is. Next information bit from your LinkedIn profile is your banner. I have a fairly ugly banner if you look at it, but it actually does the trick for me because it talks exactly to my target audience and it shows some social proof right from the start, something that I helped my previous client to achieve. His book 6 calls on one day and close 3 of them on the next day, earning on average $16,500 per deal on a retainer. My ideal clients, they look at it, they're like, oh my God, this is one of the testimonials. It can certainly be like that guy as well, with the help of Artem, myself. So that's why people reach out to me, and this is how I work from here. And then also an important bit is the social proof. So I actually have been featured in all of these publications. That's why I have them live here. So in your case, for your software development company, you can have any publications you've been featured in, or you can have clients that you worked with previously. Yes, some companies as well. On the banner, you can pretty much call out your ideal client profile, your ideal clients, and basically talk about the deliverables. Yeah, what exactly are you promising your clients to achieve? So in my case, I help clients to attract basically new customers, I attract new business, and I create this funnels based on LinkedIn. Now, the next bit that people read right after your name is your headline. In fact, they might be reading the headline even before they read your name. So that's why you want to use this opportunity and once again call out your ideal client profile. So if you're working with a very specific type of client, which you should be, because you really should be focused on working one specific type of client and delivering exactly one type of service for them, you really want to put it out here. And then anything that you can use to spice up your headline. For example, you can say, oh, our number of revisions is really, really small, or we are able to deliver the service so much quicker than others, stuff like this. So, but it should, of course, be based on some real results that you have achieved in the past. You can also include some results that you provided your clients with, working with for them previously, and invitation to a call to action. Yeah, so what do you want people to do? They read this headline, they're like, okay, what do I do next? And this is where you can suggest them, oh, by the way, click this link down below. The link down below is called custom link. So here it is on LinkedIn. You can have it as is right now, and you can provide some custom text here, or you can add a custom button, and LinkedIn will make sure that you pick one of the pre-programmed options that they have. Then you can use that custom button. Personally, I recommend using this specific solution here, because once again, you can play with the text, you can play with custom text, you can make it really, really catchy, because this custom button, you cannot really adjust. Once you get the button, you just get the button. That's it. This bit here, what do I recommend it to have? Where does this link go? In my case, this is a YouTube video. So this is how people, once again, they check out my profile, they click on this video, and they check out the video. And it's like, oh, this guy actually knows how this stuff works. I'm going to look after him. I'll see when I'm ready or whatever. Some people include the link to their calendars. In my opinion, that's a little bit too much for a commitment step. You think about it, you really need to know somebody before you get on a call with them. And the first time you check out their profile, you're like, okay, yeah, this guy looks pretty cool, but is he legit? I don't know. So I'm just not going to do anything. Whereas if they click on this link and they check out my content, that's one more interaction towards that count of 27 interactions. I need on average to have this deal fall through. So they check out my video, and then after that, I can even run some crazy retargeting campaigns with YouTube videos as well. So the idea is to once again expose people to my brand and show them that I'm legit. And other alternatives, you can have a link to your landing page, for example, where you share case studies, the clients you worked with previously, testimonials these clients left. And then you can have from that landing page, you can have a link to your calendar, for example. That's how people will check out the stuff and be like, this guy's actually legit. Sounds like a really good quality software development company, software development agency. I'm going to check them out. There are two more important sections left in LinkedIn, so let's check them out. This is the About section here. I recommend using this to the full. In this case, I kind of need to adjust mine once again, but in reality, you can use this once again to show some previous results that you obtained for your clients. You have some testimonials, you can share the results you've achieved, and once again, have a link like I have here that goes to your landing page or your video, whatever it is you're using. So in this case, I would have the same link in the About section as I would have here. Next comes the Featured section, is yet another opportunity to showcase what you got, what your software development company has for your potential clients. I recommend having testimonials, again, case studies, anything that can uplift you as a brand and make you stand out from the rest. You should definitely use this. Testimonials, case studies, if you've been featured somewhere, 100% use that. And also, once again, the link to the landing page. And in this case, I recommend having the link all the way in the left column. It's there for a specific reason, because this is the only column that gets seen when people access LinkedIn profile through mobile devices. And we know that approximately 60% of LinkedIn usage is on mobile. So it's quite a substantial amount. So this is the most important part. So you want to have that link, the link to your case studies right away here in the left column. So then comes the activity bit, experience, and also you can play with recommendations. You can definitely have some recommendations. In this case, I have mine like ages ago. I'd love to maybe have another recommendation here, something that's a little bit more recent. So you can also ask your previous clients, ideally, if they can have some sort of recommendation here to get it featured there. So it looks a little bit more legit. So it's all up to date and looks really, really nice. After you've got your LinkedIn profile optimized, you're now ready to actually go out there and pinpoint your ideal client profile on LinkedIn. And to do that, we're going to use LinkedIn's very own LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And this is how you're going to find your ideal clients directly from LinkedIn. To access Sales Navigator, you want to click on this button here. It costs $99 and it's well worth it once you know how to use this. And I'm going to show you how you can use it. Once you load LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you end up on this dashboard and it looks super tricky. What the hell is going on here? You go to the search bar, you click right here, and then you click enter. Now you end up in this familiar looking like place where you can actually start searching for leads. LinkedIn, if you can look at this sidebar here on the left, has some funny stuff going on here. It says lead and account. So if you translate it from LinkedIn's English to normal English, this means people and this means account. Every time I look for ideal clients, I recommend using the account tab because ultimately you're a business selling to businesses. So you want to be looking for companies, and simply because of LinkedIn filters, the way they work, once you start trying to find ideal clients here through the leads, it's going to show you a lot of people that have little to do with who exactly you're looking for. So I recommend going for companies any day of the week. Now, this is where you pinpoint your ideal client profile. We're going to start with, say, headquarter location. I really like this filter. So if you're only looking, say, for the companies that are based in the States, you're going to pick United States. Some of the other filters I love for software developing companies are technologies used. You can really find some interesting use cases here. So for example, my current client, we are looking for clients that work with Shopify Plus. So I'm going to type in Shopify Plus and I'm going to end up with absolutely nothing because it is somehow, there we go, Shopify Plus. Right away, I've got this list of 18,000 companies that use Shopify Plus. Then I can go into the company headcount and I'm going to play with them a little bit. I say, all right, I need companies that are 11 to 50. I've got companies that have anywhere between 11 to 50 people working in them, which is really, really good. And I can also play with industry. I don't recommend playing with number of followers, department headcount only for huge companies that doesn't really fit. Department headcount growth, same idea. Fortune, okay, big companies. Annual revenue, I don't recommend working with it as well because it's really inaccurate, especially for smaller companies. That's pretty much it in this case. So after that, you can start playing with search keywords. And something I want to show you here real quick is called Boolean search. This is Boolean search for LinkedIn. Basically, this is like advanced search operator. So for example, I want to find companies that mention clothes. Let's see if that works. Clothes or retail. And only 52 companies mention clothes. And then I can also say, and shoes, for example. In this case, what I've told LinkedIn to do is I only want companies that mention clothes and shoes using this specific terms. If I read the descriptions for these companies, I'm going to see clothes and shoes. And if I want to have like companies that mention clothes or shoes, I'm going to include the or, and I will have a lot more results here now. That's how this operates. After you pinpoint your ideal client profile companies, you're now going to look for the decision makers. And remember, I told you, this is not me, this was Forrester with our research, the number of B2B decision makers is pretty high. So 4 or more, and the bigger the company is, the more there will be. How do we find the decision makers? I recommend selecting these companies here. You can actually save them to list, and then you can go through all these pages. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, but you go through all the pages, you save them to list, and then you accept them. You can access them separately. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to go into it really deep. So all I need to do is view current employees. I recommend you hold Control or Command button to open this in a separate tab. And there you have this. Right now, I'm going to go into the seniority level. This is the self-generated filter from LinkedIn. It's very powerful and in my opinion, much better than the current job title because people have a tendency to kind of hide their job titles on LinkedIn so they're not getting spammed by all these crazy people that are spamming them. And we're not like that, not at all. So you go into the seniority level and you're going to click plus. Here's where it is. It says owner, partner. You can also get CXO, vice president, like director, anything. Yeah, depending on the company size, depending on who your decision maker would be. In this case, we're looking for 11 to 50. So they're fairly smallish kind of companies, not too huge. So I would maybe go with C level guys and girls. And I'm going to go with the owner partner. And we've got 64 results here. Of course, you can kind of look through them and I highly recommend doing this, especially if you've got a VA to do this stuff because it's really a lot of monotonous and repetitive jobs. But basically, here are your decision makers. That's great. Next step is all about connecting with these decision makers. To do that, watch me. Back in Sales Navigator, of course, you can go in here and click connect with these guys. But what ends up happening is that you're connecting with them right within LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And LinkedIn Sales Navigator is like a shadow version of normal standard LinkedIn. Once you connect with these guys, and if you decide to cancel LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you're going to lose these connections as well. So you kind of need to open their real LinkedIn profiles and connect with them there. On top of that, and this is something that I really, really hate, even if you're not planning to cancel LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which you kind of shouldn't be anyway, but if you're not planning to do that, what's really irritating is the messaging box they've got here, because it's actually a separate messaging box, which you will not be able to see from your LinkedIn inbox once you're using standard LinkedIn. It all becomes a mess, but it is what it is. In order to connect with these people on using their normal LinkedIn profiles, we need to click their name and go into here, click three dots, view LinkedIn profile, let it load, and then this is where you hit the connect button right here. Of course, you can use some form of automation for this. I'm not going to discuss the automation in this video, but there are several tools out there. I've done an interview with a founder of one of these tools, a better well-known ones called Linked Helper 2. It's on my channel. LinkedIn automation tools are a beast in itself. They are against of LinkedIn's terms of service. So you should be very, very careful when using them. It does happen that you can get your account restricted. So you have to be really, really careful about this. So stay warned. Right now, you're connecting with all these people. What are you going to do next? How does the interaction work? How are you actually going to convert them into clients? I'm going to explain to you right now. Here's a profile of the guy that we just opened up. And before we can send a message to this guy, we need to really connect with him. And how do you connect with him? Well, you click the connect button. Once you click the connect button, LinkedIn is asking you, would you like to add a note to your invitation? A lot of people would spend a lot of time creating some crazy personalization note, when in reality, and this is something really crazy, this is another secret tip that I'm going to share with you here. In reality, LinkedIn users are less likely on average to accept a connection request that has some form of a note in it. It's crazy, I know, but that's a reality. So you're not going to add any note. You're just going to say send without a note and let it end there. Once the guy accepts your message, you're going to send the first message. The best template that I discovered through the years, I have massive cold outreach experience. So I've been sending cold emails for many years. The best way to interact with these people, especially on LinkedIn, which is a social platform, is to use what I call a two-step formula once you're reaching out to these people. So the message would go like this. You'd say, hey, Preston, in this case. Then you would have a line of something that grabbed your attention in his profile, or some of the work that he's done, or some kind of a joke if you can crack it up. If you can make the guy on the other end smile, you've already won. They're more likely to respond to you, to make them smile, or compliment their work, or something. It needs to be highly personalized. You want to check out their stuff, what they've done. It doesn't need to be long. It's just one sentence, a line, or maybe a few words. Nothing crazy like this. You just need to show that respect, that you took some time to check it out. The second part of the message will evolve around like, this is for business purposes that I'm reaching out to you right now. But I just wanted to, start off with something really nice, that we can have a chat and see if we take it from there. This type of message is the best because you're showing that you respect them as human beings because you take the time to check out their profiles, check out the work they've done in the past, compliment it, maybe crack some funny joke if you're able to make jokes. Basically, show them this respect. And the second bit is that you're showing that you are also valuing their time, because LinkedIn users, they don't like two things. They don't like spammers and they don't like time wasters. We are not spamming them because we are personalizing it really, really well. And we're not wasting their time because we're not just reaching out for the sake of it. We are saying that, oh, yes, we do have some business interest in this outreach. Say we send this message and the guy responds. So what happens next? This is when the invitation to a discovery call comes in. They're like, hey, Preston, it's really nice to know you. How about we go on a call, 10, 15 minutes. It's like eat coffee, what I call these, and have a chat as if we're at some conference or something. How does it sound? More often than not, I will actually say, yes, let's go, because you've been really nice to them so far. You are a lovely human being and you've been trying your best, spamming. You are there for business, but you're being really, really kind. You're showing them love and so on and so forth. What happens if they don't respond? Now, this is the buyer's pyramid. This is when it kicks in. Remember, 3% of the audience are looking to buy in any given moment. That's the reality. If they don't respond, what we're going to do next is that we're going to keep sending messages, intelligent follow-ups, in order to get the people that are already aware they've got the problem, but they're still not looking for a solution, to convert as quickly as possible, and then get all the other people as well on board by providing value along a very lengthy period of time. And usually I say around 7-8 messages. So it can take us sometimes 2 months to send out the full campaign, so that you're gradually, in a very patient manner, just reminding them of your presence, that you're out there, that you're very valuable. You've got these case studies, that you're actually a fun guy as well. You're taking the time to check out their profile. You're maybe even engaging with their content. Again, every time you're engaging with their content, it helps to gain those 27 interactions. Remember those, because they check out your profile, they become more and more familiar with yourself. It helps them to create this picture, to imprint your presence, imprint your service, who you are, in their brain, so they become more familiar with you. And if something's more familiar to you, you're more likely to accept it, you're more likely to talk to it, and so on. So you're really like taking a while, bringing this all up, like this cloud of your presence. You're present in their content, you're present in their messages, you're reminding themselves about yourself and about your presence. That's really, really powerful stuff. And remember how I said at the very start as well, implicit Salesforce company, 102 days. That's how it really operates. Taking some time, intelligent follow-ups, and so on and so forth. What do you actually write in these follow-ups? I like having a mixture of something humorous and something valuable. So if it's appropriate for you, if you are able to produce something that makes people smile or smirk, at least on the other side of the screen, you are there. You've won the battle. You can get those people invited for these discovery calls. And then from these discovery calls, you can take it further into the sales process, booking a strategy call with yourself and showing exactly what are the deliverables, how you can make it happen for themselves, for their companies, and so on and so forth. This is the direct message part. What happens, and I already partially mentioned that, what happens after the direct messages once you've got this process rolling? By the way, a quick note about sending the connection requests. Once you're using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you're limited to approximately 800 connection requests on a monthly basis. That's 200 connection requests every week. LinkedIn will actually stop you from sending out these connection requests every single week once you reach roughly 200 connection requests. So that's why you kind of have to maintain this. Last but not least is the content. Content on LinkedIn is very, very important. The problem is that it takes a lot of time to actually see some real results with content, especially if you are just starting out with LinkedIn or you haven't been posting for your specific ideal client profile audience. Content on LinkedIn is a way to, again, showcase your case studies, show people any testimonials that you have, provide some insights, and shift people's focus from the stuff that they're doing wrong into something that you can help them to do right. Illustrate how they're losing by not hiring you, and share all that information approximately 3 to 5 times a week. Yeah, so you don't need to post more than once on LinkedIn on a daily basis. In fact, LinkedIn penalizes anybody who does this. You shouldn't be posting that frequently. Once you're starting out, start maybe 3 times a week and go to up to 5. You can use different content formats as well. Carousels still work. Text is fine. Video content is great as well. So video content will get probably a bit less impressions, but once again, it allows people to become more familiar with yourself and your service. That's about it, guys. That's how you get these clients for software development agency or software development company. If you have any comments or questions, let me know down there and reach out to me if you need any help. We can make a custom solution for you and make it work for your company. I'll see you in the next one.